I'm out here at the buses. But yeah, I just thought I'd go live because Noah went live a couple days ago. I was like, well, I'm gonna steal his idea. There's still like 2 bus updates that need to come out. Haven't the one's uploaded to public early next year. Today's December 27th, so it's like I think December 3rd when that one goes up. And then I filmed another one. Probably go over that here again in a little bit. How's it going, Bus Driver 71? I gotta let this one run for a little while because I just got new batteries for it, but it's not going too bad. Aside from the bill I had to pay for batteries, it's not fun, but it happens. It's all part of bus ownership. Bus 23 is a 2002, so it's actually good you asked that while I'm right here, because the one way you can tell late 2001 or 2002, and I believe only the 2001s that were this way were from Mount Pleasant. This one is a Lafayette bus, but basically this panel door right here is a big indicator that it is a 2002 plus, or like I said, a 2001 from Mount Pleasant. But also, come in here and you see a switch panel. These rocker switches started in 2002 or 2001 with Mount Pleasant. The rocker switches and that panel door down there are interconnected. So, started that at the exact same time. I'd like to go visit the Lafayette plant at some point, but we'll see about that. Let's see. I saw another comment. Where do I? Okay, there we go. Like that. Where do we go? Okay, JD Tank. Thank you, sir. I'm happy to do these videos. I enjoy doing them. I'm also got Bus Driver 71 about the recovery. Yeah, it's going pretty well so far. I got a mask on right now. That's why I sound kind of muffled. I have to wear one outside or else my lungs start hurting, so that's why I am the way I am right now. Oh, going to look at EC72s, that'd be cool. I saw one for sale on Facebook Marketplace, around the time 681 went up, but it was all the way in Georgia and I'm in West Virginia, so, and they wanted way too much for it, but. Where do I live? West Virginia. Right there around the Kentucky, Ohio tri-state area. But let's see, comments disappeared again. Cat 3126 sound, yes, I love it too. Thanks, guys. I enjoy making content for you all. I wouldn't do it if I didn't like it. I don't do this for the money. I don't make very much money doing it. Last few months I've just paid for 23's batteries. Like that was a multi-month thing. So I really don't make too much. Oh, that would be cool. I think I've talked to you about that before, actually, the EC72s. So here's 594. I guess we'll turn on some lights or something, make this a little more interesting. Turn the idle up here a little bit. And, frozen? Oh, come on. Don't tell me my doors are... Let's see. Well, it's usually not that slow. Maybe it's not right. Hope the solenoid isn't bad. Guess I'll let her warm up and see what happens, but that would not be good. I'll turn on the amber. And pass it. Making some messages here. I love bus 23 as well. This is a very, very good bus for the most part. It likes to give me issues sometimes, but not too often. It's actually, you know, one of the better buses that I probably could have bought. Bluebird Freightliners, I wouldn't say they're necessarily rare. They might be rare in New York, but West Virginia had a ton of them. Alabama had a ton of them. They're not really rare, but they're not really common either. Let's see, I'll do the same on 594 here. And there we go. There we go. Buses. Still need to hook up the turn signals and the headlights on that one. But oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, we have some buses going for the EPA grant. We're actually within the last couple of weeks started drilling the holes in the engine blocks and towing them off the scrap. So 594 is a 1993 model, built on 9/11/92. So 9 years before the tragedy. Do something here. Shut this one down. Take this one for just a little jaunt, because I want to shift some gears right now. Not to take it too far, just around the portion of the storage lot here. But yeah. Let's see. Get my seat back up. There we go. Maybe my solenoid is bad. So, let's get this. I really don't think you can go any better than a diesel bus, in my opinion. Gasoline is close second, but if they're going to go electric, they should have diesel engine generators for the electric motors. I think that just makes more sense. let's look back at the comments. Let's see. My birthday's in October 21st. 5 diesel buses on a run, other 5 in spares. Yeah. Our fleet here is currently 100% diesel, but we have 11 of the Green Power Beasts on order. I wouldn't be surprised if they change that to Thomas C2s, because nobody's really a fan of the Beasts here in West Virginia, even though it's going to be made here. Thank you. I think 23 does sound good. It is a very good bus. See if with some help to it. I think that's a shot. Nice. Let's see. Oh, that bus that that I uploaded or that went live today. That was filmed a year ago. I put that in the description, but I don't think anybody read it. So I put a pinned comment on both videos I did about it. It was exported after I decided to pass up on it. So it had a few issues that I wasn't really willing to take on. Plus, since that was a year ago, I didn't have this one yet, and I was really debating on whether or not I needed another bus. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, so I kind of decided to pass up on it. I knew there were buses out there that would fit me better. That's the main reason. I want one that's West Virginia spec. I'm a little bit picky when it comes to Bluebird Internationals. That one was very nice, had the drivetrain. I needed a lot of freaking options, but I want to be able to do some of that stuff myself. There wasn't really much room for improvement, which I want to be able to do some of that improvement myself. So, no, if we're going to get electric buses, it's going to be Green Power Beast or maybe even Jouley C2s. We don't have any ICs here. We're 100% Thomas fleet. We don't have any Bluebirds in service anymore. Cameron, I'm just hanging out. Let's see, $7.99 is a 2017. Yeah, you don't see very many stick shift school buses anymore, but there's still some places in West Virginia that are still running them. 23 was the last ones that Barber County had. They had, I think, 4 Bluebird Internationals and then 23. And they all sold them that same summer. I think 3 of them went up with 23, and then 1 went up afterwards. And I believe the other ones got exported. And then, let's see, Pendleton County has a few Bluebird Internationals, a Bluebird Freightliner, and 2 C2s that are all stick shift. Calhoun County has a stick shift C2. It's retired though. Harrison County still has quite a few Bluebird Internationals that are stick shifts. Let's see, who else? Hardy County still has some stick shift Bluebird Internationals. Hampshire County had 2 up until I think sometime around this summer. They might both be gone. I'm not 100% sure on that, but let's see. 681 was a 2003, but it was automatic. Rarest bus in our fleet. We don't really have C2s and HGXs. They're not really rare. We still have a couple of the Bluebird All-Americans sitting around, but they're retired, so I guess that would be my answer, but they're not really rare either. Let's see. Who else has stick shifts? I know I have a map at my house. I made a digital map. Would I buy one of the A3REs? Maybe if I didn't have a hospital bill to pay. But depends on whenever they decide to sell them. If they're going to sell them, they might scrap them for the EPA grant. We did not have MVP ERs, but we did have ERs, pre-MVP. So we had one that used to be sitting at the old bus garage. But, October of last year, they took it down to the fire training academy, and I think they use it for like smoke in an enclosed space kind of training. They haven't cut it up or anything. We have a C2 that's going down there for that pretty soon. It was one of the EPA buses. But, let's see. 800 is also a 2017, but it's an HDX. Hope both buses, the back tires don't. 23 won't. 594. We'll find out right now. We're good. It's just sliding on the ice. There's some ice in the form. So it was just sliding a little bit. I love the way this thing sounds. Place myself good enough before I'm backing up. This thing sounds lovely. Let's see, let's go back through the chat and see which ones I missed. See. Yeah, a lot of districts are going with the EPA grant because it's basically 5 times the amount of money at least they could get through EPA grant versus selling a bus. Small buses in my fleet use a W before the number because they use the same number. I've seen some places here in West Virginia do something similar, but it's either the numbers are totally different or it's the same number, but they end it with L for lift, I guess. Because well, I shouldn't say all, but a lot of places in West Virginia have smaller buses for the wheelchair lifts, including here. Never seen the Ward buses. Wish I did though. They're not very good buses, but as far as the bodies are concerned, they weren't really put together that well. But they're neat and unique, and for my uses, it's fine. I don't really need a beautiful conditioned body. Neither of these buses are really in like mint shape or anything like that. Do a tour of 799. I have tours of it on my channel. At least 2, maybe 3. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, T3 coming out 10 years ago is a little weird. What was that, 2014? 2015? 2014. Yeah, 14. Wow, that was weird. That is weird. I really don't have a way to set my camera up for 23. See if it slips on the tires or anything. I will show you the parking spaces though. Guys, just shut this one off and pump the brakes down. Yeah, I'm feeling better for the most part. I still have to wear a mask. You can see, kinda. Hold on. Hello. I have to wear a mask outside because the cold air does not do well with my lungs. It's still healing, you know, so I have to make sure that warm air is coming in my lung, warm and damp air. So this is the best way to do it, because basically I'm taking my body moisture and body warmth from the inside and recirculating it. So let's see. Why was 594 retired? Age, mostly. It was 15 years old, and that's usually about the time we retire them. And then the city mission used it for 12 years, let it sit for 3, and then I bought it. So it's a 30-year-old bus now, but spent half of its life with Cabell County and about half of its life with the city mission, and let's see how long it lasts with me. But let's see. We already have retired some of our T3s. Wow. Well, you're from New York, though, aren't you? Buses seem to not last as long up there because of the salt. Typically. Or it could be a mileage thing. That's up to your district, and I don't know how your district does it. But our buses are typically retired here in Cabell County about 15 years and 150,000 miles. Which is weird because, well, 150 to 180 around there. It's not very common that one hits 200,000 here. Retired a few ICFEs. Yeah, we don't have any of those, but not very many districts in West Virginia got ICFEs. Putnam County did. Mingo County. Might have been it. There's probably somebody I'm forgetting about, but yeah, there wasn't very many that actually got ICFEs. Unless you count the first generation ICFEs, but a lot more people got those. Putnam County, Wayne County. Mingo probably had some I'm not aware of. I'm not a fan of that. Oh well. We had, here we had two TC2000 FEs back in the day, a 2000 model and a 97 model, I think. Buses 633 and 656, they're both special needs. 100,000 for now. 2014 T3 approximate at 79,000. 799 to 79,000 miles on it. So that's. Bus 23 was retired for a multitude of reasons, but the final nail in the coffin was it went in for state inspection, you know, school bus inspection, and the inspector failed it because this button back here doesn't work. So basically what this button is, for those of you who don't know, whenever you turn the bus off, West Virginia, I'm pretty sure it's a requirement here, has what's called child check system. So you turn the bus off, if you've used the red lights or the amber lights, and basically it flips the system on that whenever you turn the bus off, you have to walk to the back and press a button. So basically the thought behind it is that you're checking every seat as you go through, which this one doesn't have seats, but checking every seat as you go through, make sure that no kids or no belongings were left behind. So that was the final nail in the coffin, but the main thing was rust. It's got a fair amount of rust on it. It's not like anything too bad, but it's enough to make things annoying. Yeah, it seems like a lot of places really don't have it, but I think it's something that should be required, just because I mean, trust your drivers, but at the same time, you know, it's a good thing to have just in case, because you never know when somebody's going to be in a hurry and forget to do that. Because if they're not, you know, if that's not there, they're not going to think to do it all the time. But see some of the ice, like we were going to talk about earlier, some of the ice is back here, but it's not as bad as where 594's parked. It doesn't help, tires are bald. See like that right there. Oh man, it smells wonderful back here. I better not stand back here too long. But yeah, I am a fan of child check. I will say that. I do like it. like as somebody who would like to spec a bus, you know, if I were to spec one, I'd put child check on it. So. One thing I hate about winter is all this mud that I have to track in here. Kind of hard not to, but yeah. Let's see. Is there anything you guys want to see? Highest number in the fleet is 852. 2023 Thomas C2. I did a tour of 851 when it came in, but basically the same exact thing. What happened to me? My lung partially collapsed. So basically a hole formed in my lung, and every time I inhaled, it was slowly pushing air between my lung and my chest wall. So basically that was blowing up like a balloon and slowly collapsing my lung. So I had to spend, you know, about a week and a half in the hospital for that. Yep. Let's see. Highest number is 852. Lowest number is, I want to say it's 709. Yeah, 709 now. Which that one might, I heard that one's supposed to be going for the EPA grant, so it might not be that one anymore. So in that case, it would be 711. Which is, I have a tour of that I had uploaded a couple weeks ago while I was in the hospital. But I drove that one last month as a spare for a full day. I mean, I really don't have a way to set up the camera to see the tire slipping. Plus, I'd rather than not slip, because it's not good for trying to keep control of your vehicle. Now, if there wasn't, I mean, that truck's not really close. It'd be far enough away for me to comfortably do it. But 594 being parked there, or really either bus being parked beside each other, I'd rather not do it on purpose. And I really don't want to put these in another spot, even temporarily, just because I don't really want to upset anybody here. But thank you, Jeepin. I wouldn't even say I'm OG by my standards, because I grew up watching Texas Street Man and Matt S4290, which I have had the pleasure of being friends with them since, especially John, Texas Street Man, but have the pleasure of, you know, meeting them and getting to know them, especially John. Do a tour of bus 852. I might this summer, but my thing is with Cabell County buses, I don't want to do content on buses that are not spares or my route bus, just because I don't want to step on any toes in case anybody finds the video. So I really don't know the driver of it. I know who it is, but I don't know him that well, so I don't really want to ask him to do it. But you know, it's just like 851. So if you want to go see a tour of 852, just go look at 851 and imagine it's got a 2 instead of a 1. Yeah, our system, we just keep going up in numbers. We used to do 1 through 100 or whatever and recycle numbers, but then back in the early 80s, they decided, let's just start at 500 and keep going up. So that's what they've done. They started at 500, which I believe was a Thomas rear engine, from what I've been told. Probably around like an 82 model, 81, 82, 83, something like that. I know by 85 we had 530, and that was the Bluebird S series. 507 was a Ward International. I want to say that one was from what I could tell, it was like an 83. So we'll say like 82 for 500. I've seen pictures of 507 and 530, and I have personally seen 539 in person. We kept that one around for a long time as a maintenance bus for shelter maintenance in the summers. But yeah, now we're up to 852. Oldest is a 2014 T3 FE. Oh gosh, I like the older stuff like this. I'm sorry, but I would not be very happy if our oldest was a 2014. Elijah, I took 23 out. Yeah, I don't know if you were here, but I took 23 out and it didn't really slip. 594 was kind of slipping because it doesn't have good tires on the back. It needs new tires, but it wasn't slipping side to side. It was mainly just spinning. The air horns. Neither bus have air horns equipped, but you know what? Let's go ahead and take 23 back out. See if it slips, and we'll go down there. So, thank you, Jeepin. I guess everybody has different, standards on the OG because everybody grew up at different times. But yeah, I appreciate that. That actually does mean a lot. How old am I? I'm 23, ironically. Same as my bus number. Air horns on a microbird would be awesome. Hello, Superior Nixon. I've loved that. Sounds like a good idea. Do very many Type A's have air brakes? Because I'm pretty sure all of them have hydraulics, don't they? Or most of them, at least. I don't know if I've ever seen one with air brakes. Yeah, Barber County, and really Cabell County, a lot of our Bluebirds were that way. They just put that camera right smack dab in the middle there. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that placement. I wish they would have put it somewhere else, but it is what it is. Let's see. 96 Amtran Genesis. That is pretty cool. I've never driven a Genesis. I've driven an FE, but the transmission is bad in it. There's only around a lot of Mike and D. So that was the only time I actually ever got to drive an FE. Thank you, Superior Nixon. The hood mirrors, I'm very much a big fan of these new mirrors. I'm glad I put them on there. They're a little bit pricey, but I'm glad I did it. Very glad I did it. Huh. Very old Amtran from the early 90s. Yeah, I like those. I mean, I own one, so. See, 1 to 500, most of them are handicapped. 300 series buses are handicapped. Wow. Last older buses were 2007 A3FEs that were retired in 2021. I am always working on my buses. The thing about bus ownership, especially if you're doing something like me versus something like Noah does, Noah keeps his mostly original. He doesn't fix anything until it breaks. For the most part. He'll do little things, like he painted the bezel on 45. Or he might add like a decal somewhere on the front bulkhead that has some sort of meaning. But with me in 23, basically, I like the expression that restorations are never finished. Because you're always finding something that you want to improve or want to change, and that's the way I am with 23. I have plenty of things that I still need to do to this bus, and I'm always thinking about things I can do. So. See if I got any comments while I was doing that. I guess not. Let's see. What are the comments? There we go. Why am I wearing a mask if I can speak? Basically, helps with my lungs. If I get cold air in my lung, then it doesn't feel very good. It actually kind of makes me take a step back as far as my recovery process. So I wear the mask because it keeps you warm and moist air coming in. Sorry if people hate that word, but it's better for me. I feel a lot better if I do that. So that's why I'm wearing a mask. Gassers have taken over our fleet, which I absolutely hate, though they sound amazing. Yeah, I know what you mean there. Yeah, the U.S. buses are neat. There's a district near me, actually the Greenup County. I did a video there last month looking at their Bluebird Internationals. They still have a U.S. bus they use for something. But air horns. The next bus update comes out on the 3rd I go over a lot of this stuff. Basically, got some access to some buses going to scrap, and I need to make another trip before they go to scrap, because I broke something on 23 that I need to replace. Easy replacement, but it's going to be annoying. See, I see Bus 594 tires are pretty muddy. Yeah, they are. I don't have good tires on the back, so they're just kind of crap right now. But one thing about, I looked down and saw this, one thing about these emblems, you can never pull these off cleanly because they're so thin and they bend. And I'm thinking about putting some like towels and stuff over it and just running it over with the bus tire on a concrete surface or something, see if that helps. But yeah, here's my storage unit. I also got these head pads, just in case I need them. If I could get more, I'd love to. They're not all the same size, which kind of sucks, but I'd love to get something that I could put all the way down the bus, pads like that, all the way down the bus, right here below the window line. I think it'd be pretty cool. Even if they're not blue or red, you know, it'd be fine. If they're black, as long as it's all the same color, it's all I care about. Let's see. Got the air horns. Got some of the stuff down here, some switches and such. AM FM radio in 23, that's what I was doing. Oh. Lift switch. It's one of those buses that had a lift. Got an extra warning lights, switches, an indicator. Got a dome dimmer switch. Air horns and 2 pull cords. So that's something that's going to be going on this bus probably in the springtime. Whenever I start feeling a little better. 23 tires are all good because they're all brand new. I did those in July of last year, and these just about a month and a half ago. So, and I only put like 1,500 miles on this bus a year, so it's really not that much. But these are recaps. So basically what that means is the tires are older than the tread. So basically the tires were used, or the tread was used all the way down, but the tires were still good, so they melted the old tread off and melted new tread on. So the tread is all the same, but the tires are all different brands. So I had like a Goodyear, a Bridgestone, and then like 2 that were some brands that aren't, like, not ones that I necessarily hadn't heard of, but like this one, as muddy as it is a Sailun, S-A-I-L-U-N. But the tread is all the same because they're retreads. Recaps, whatever you want to call them. And then the front tires. Let's see. These are, you should not run recaps on your steers. And most places will not do that. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. Yeah, these tires are, I mean, July of last year was when I bought them, but you know, they've had 2,000 miles put on them, maybe 2,500. Let's see. I might, depending on, I might buy one of the All-Americans depending on the price. Probably not, just because if I'm going to get a third bus, I'd rather have a Bluebird International. As much as I love those All-Americans, I already have a cat-powered Bluebird. Don't really need another. But if the price is right, I might do it. If they sell them in the wintertime, prices will probably stay down, so we'll see. Let's see. Chrome looks good, thank you. I think it does. Steven, my name is Adam. 2018 gas mismatched turn signals. Oh, that. Oh. some nice trumpets there. I think so. Lift switch came from a 2002 Bluebird International. It's going for scrap here soon. Yeah, I don't want anything with death, but thanks for the offer. DEF is the bane of big diesel's existence. That's what's ruined a lot of newer trucks. Because if you can run them without DEF, then they're just as reliable as these. But it's the DEF, well, that and all the sensors and stuff. But it's the DEF and all the sensors that have really ruined these things. This one has no computer on it whatsoever. Not much to go wrong. Talking about 594's tires back here. See, there's not very much tread on them at all. So that's why they just spin in the mud or the ice. That's why I don't I don't like sit there and floor it. I just put it in drive and give it just a little bit of fuel to get it out of here. But I don't fishtail that way, you know. But the front tires, I put this one on right after I bought it because the old one had a gash in it and it was very low on tread. This one had the City Mission, the previous owner. They actually put this one on, so I bought the other one to match, and it was that tire over there. Having somebody come out and put it on, I took this one to a tire shop to have those put on. They're cheap tires. This is a Firestone. But that tire costs more than both of those front tires. So yeah, next time I'm just going cheap tires for my use because I don't need super good tires on my buses. Or like name brand tires is what I mean. These are fine. Let's see. Strangest bus I've ever seen, Green Power Beast. I don't really care for them. They're neat, but I don't really care for them. Bus company, sister company, used to own an old 4-bed Quantum handicap bus and newer chassis. Interesting. Nice, decent. I like that. I like 3800 a lot. Freightliner was not my first choice, but you know what? I'm glad I have one. You know, I think Thomas Freightliners are really cool, but I already have a Bluebird, so I don't really need a Thomas. I've driven a few Thomas Freightliners, but I would say the Thomas Freightliners are the best buses you can get on the Freightliner chassis, because the Thomas body that specific Thomas body was made specifically for that chassis. So basically, the Thomas Freightliner and the first gen CE are the two buses that ruin the school bus industry. But I'll talk about that in a video that I'd love to do. I just need to get around to planning it, filming it, editing it, and putting it out. So I just need to get around to doing it, essentially. All of the work. I am not going to sell bus 23. No, I like this bus way too much. It was my first bus, and it's a good bus. And I put a lot of money into it. And no, I'm not going to be selling it. Has the front handicap lift too. They might actually do it. Nice. You don't see anything in West Virginia There's one bus that has a midship lift in West Virginia. But the rest of them are conventionals that have them in the back or front engine transits. I've seen front engine transits in West Virginia. We had a couple of them back in the day, but Putnam County still has a few. Our neighbor, Putnam County, still has a few with the front engines with the lift in the back. But our other neighbor, one of our other neighbors, Wayne County, has an ICRE with a midship lift. Because you can't put it in the front or the back because there's stuff in the way, so it has to go in the middle on a rear engine. But it is the only rear engine that I've seen in West Virginia that has a wheelchair lift. Let's see. Alright, let's shut her off. And see if she wants to start back up. It's got brand new batteries in it that I just let charge for almost an hour. So it better. Would I sell bus 594? I would think about it, but I'd rather not. I've talked about it in the past, but it's kind of grown on me, so I'm kind of reluctant to sell 594. There we go. Of course, that's what I did last time, so no guarantee that it'll actually stay charged, but I guess it should. I have brand new batteries in it now, so but go ahead and pump all the air out of the brakes. We're not required to do this where I live, but I do it here because I have a history of people entering my bus when they're not supposed to, so I'd rather than not release the parking brake and let this thing go rolling. So I pump all the air out so that way they can't do that. What's the coolest bus I've seen at Mike and B? Either that Bluebird I just did a video of from Mayfield, that was pretty cool, or the 1985 All-American they used to have sitting around for like 5 or 6 years. That thing was pretty cool. They usually have some pretty neat stuff there. Can I show bus 23's on-spot change between the tires? Yes, that's just a little bit too late, but even then, I only have one side that I think it works. The other side definitely does not work because it is broken, physically broken, snapped in two on my way home with it like a year and a half ago. Just never got around to fixing it. Didn't have time to pull one off of the scrap bus that actually went off the scrap. So the other ones are handicap buses, and I don't think they are the same size because the wheels are smaller on those. But you see that one's broken. It's got bungee cords wrapped around it. Any bus without a blue interior. I like blue interiors. I think Kentucky Bluebirds and the early ICs, you see a lot of blue interior buses in Kentucky. I thought it was a state spec, but I've been told it's not. But it's like every single Kentucky bus I see has a all blue interior, it seems. But I really like blue interiors. Am I going to own a Bluebird Vision one day? Probably not. If I did, it would probably be a first gen. I love the first gen Visions. I've only driven one, but it was very, very fun to drive. I've not driven a second gen Vision, but they're just too much maintenance and such. Let's see. How was bus 45? I assume it's okay. That'd be a Noah question. It's his bus. Really want to find a 2006 dually wheel Ford Econoline Corvette school bus. Love how they look. You could probably find one pretty easy. I feel like those are not too hard to find. It's just they're overpriced. Let's see. Every bus after 1997 is a blue interior up to 08 when they went to yellow roof with blue seats. Huh. Interesting. As far as me owning buses goes, I don't think that I would ever have the ability to own more than 3 because these things are super expensive, and right now 2 is pushing it. 3 is if I find a really good job. I already have a house. I already have all that stuff. You know, a really good car. You know, I mean, that CRV is great, but yeah, it'll probably, you know, that will probably last me for quite a while. But you know, pretty much I already have all the things in my life that I need. I could own 3 buses maybe. ICAEs are cool. I've only seen one in person. It was a roof cap on our way to Spring Fling in 2018. There was a concrete divider wall on the highway. And I look over, I'm like, oh, there's an ICAE, and it's just the roof cap going by. That's the only one I've seen in person. I have seen the new Bluebird Vision design. Not in person, but I've seen pictures. I'm not a fan of it. The T3 was already kind of pushing it with, you know, that roof cap design, but, you know, it was a little bit unique. Looks like an IC with the slanted warning light paint and all, but, you know, it was fine. But at least the Vision still had the more traditional style of Bluebird styling. And I like that about the Vision, that it still had that. And really the only thing it's got now is the back below the roof cap. It's still exactly the same as 23. Maybe a little different, but like 90% similar. You know, the doors, I believe the doors are still the exact same on here. So if I were to pull a door off a brand new Vision, put it on 23, it should fit. I might be mistaken on that because I don't have too much experience around newer buses, but yeah, things like that, the windows and all that stuff. Let's see. I think it's more fun to drive Bus 23, mainly because of the manual transmission. 594 definitely is different, where it's all mechanical. 23 hasn't any computer on it. But manual transmission definitely does make it more fun to me. I don't know if I want to own a second manual. I kind of do want to own a second stick shift bus, but that's kind of like one of the big things about 23 that appeals to me. And I don't know if I'd want to ruin that and have another stick shift bus that I end up liking more. So yeah, I'll probably just stick with owning the one stick shift bus, but yeah, I think 23 is more fun to drive. Let's see. Yes, school buses today are pretty ugly. I think the second gen CE is probably the best styled bus now. They changed Visions. I love the grill on the Vision. The new grill, I love it, but that roof cap design was just, that was just the last, no. Quality control is bad on those from what I've been told. And now the roof cap design is garbage. I just don't really care for it. If the manual transmission went on this, and if I had the know-how or the help on how to do it, I would put a 10-speed non-synchronized stick shift from a semi-truck in this. That's what I would do. If I had the money and the know-how and the help, that's what I would do. Because at my second job, I drive those a lot. I love driving those. Those are so much fun. I would love to have one in the school bus. Eaton Fuller is what they use. So there are 10 speeds. It's exactly the same as 23, except you have a splitter. So you go 1 through 5, you flip the splitter, and then it's 6 through 10, same shift pattern. You just add 5 to the lower gears. It's like where first gear is 6th, and then second gear, what's location for second gear, 7th, 3rd, 8th, you know, so on and so forth. How did the bus chains get broken? They rusted. And on my way home with it, they just snapped. This bus hadn't moved in over 2 years before I bought it, so I'm thinking where it sat in mud and grass. I think that's where a lot of my rust came from on this one. Not all of it, but, you know, the decent portion of it. And it just rusted through and snapped. Let's see. Yes, 23 is a 2002. Would I buy an SBCV? Yes. Given the right price, and, you know, if it's close enough, yes, I would. I think that would be pretty cool. I thought about having just a collection dedicated to weird Bluebirds if I ever got rid of 594. So, you know, 23 with a stick shift, an SBCV, maybe a D3 FE, because the only D3 RE is gone in West Virginia. It got sold while I was in the hospital, so there's no way I was going to be able to do that. And it was 6 hours away, no guarantee if it ran or not, so Yes, Kentucky plates do have official on them, and makes it you have pretty much have to have the VIN to look anything up on them, which you can get pretty easy on the Bluebirds, but not very easy on the Thomases and the ICs. Let's see, I do have the LED warning lights put on 23, but the reason I have not put them on there yet, well, two reasons. One, I like the incandescent ones, but two, I'm waiting to repaint both roof caps because they definitely need new paint. So that's why this one does not have LED warning lights on it. And when I do the warning lights, I'm going to buy clearance lights and new shields for it. So I'm going to redo all of the lights on it. And at that point, the only exterior lights that would not be LED would be stop sign here and both of these side turn signals. Let's see. Electronics on the Visions absolutely suck. Yes, they do. That's what I've heard. Electronics suck on just about all of them, though. If you could get any bus, what would it be? I would buy a Bluebird International 3800 0304 466 MD 3060 West Virginia spec. There's still, let's see, that I know of. Marshall County has a couple, but they're not really exactly what I'm looking for. I'm about to sneeze, maybe. But they're yellow roof and blue interior. I love the blue interior, but I'd rather have a factory looking white roof on it. Which, if they go cheap enough, maybe, but last time they didn't. I actually bid on one, but it went for like twice what I bid on it, so. But there's a couple, you know, up in the northern part of the state that, a couple districts, one of them only has one, the other one has three. Two of the one that has three, two of those three are retired. So I'm just kind of waiting on those, see when they go up, if I'd be able to buy one. But if I bought one, I'd have to sell $594, so we'll see. Central Square in New York has all Bluebird, Vision, diesel, and Microbird Chevy G5 gas there. Nice. Did you get your CDL before or after you bought the buses? I got it before. So I started working at the school district in March. Actually, March 5th. No, March 4th. No, March 5th was my first day driving school bus. And March 5th also was the day they listed 681 up for auction. So it just kind of worked out that way. So I bid on 681. Of course, I did not win it. And a couple months later, I bought 23. Because this one came up for auction. I said, that's pretty cool. Pretty sure that one has a stick shift in it. Because it just said 5-speed transmission, which either meant 5-speed Eaton Fuller or an AT 545. Or I think the Allison 2000s had that too. But its sister was at 422 in Slippery Rock, PA. Bus 25 for Barber County. And the only thing different about it, though, is it had a lift. But same length and everything, just had a lift in the back. But that one had a 5-speed manual, so I was pretty sure this one did too. The pictures didn't show it. It was all exterior pictures. So I went to go look at it, and then I was like, yes, this thing has a 5-speed. I do not know how to drive stick shift, but I will learn. That's exactly what I did. Let's see. Yeah, there's no alternative fuel buses here either in Cabell County. There are a lot of counties that have gas and propane. But, let's see. Yeah, if you ever figure out the Kentucky official plates, let me know. I'd like to know that. Wayne County, Kentucky has one Bluebird 3800 left. Nice. 6 windows long. That's a short bus. I like those. Let's see. No chance anyone could buy it, though. Wayne County. Oh, that sucks. $594. Basically, loose plans for it. If I end up actually keeping it, which I think I will, but we'll find out whenever the right Bluebird International comes along for sale. Basically, I want to take all the black spray paint off of it and put Cabell County Schools back on it and $594. Maybe see if they'd let me use it in parades or things like that, since it's actually from here. Yeah, the local school board owns the buses here too. That's the way it is for all of West Virginia. I do not know of any that are actually contracted. I've been to all the bus lots except for one, and that one I've been to their other 4 bus lots. So, They might not be allowed to put, like Durham or First Student on them, but I don't think there are actually any districts in West Virginia that are contracted. So all of them are owned by the school board. Let's see. When I won the bid for 23, did I take it home right away? I got the insurance done on it. So basically, I won it on June 2nd. June 1st, and I picked it up on the 7th, I think. So that was last year, 2021. Basically, I know I won the bid. I paid for it, and then I got the insurance done on it. The VIN and everything was in the listing, so got the insurance done, and went up there, picked it up. They signed the title over to me. I had the bill of sale, and that's the way I took it home. I did not have a license plate, but I put a piece of paper in the back window saying that I have all the proper documentation showing that I do own the bus and that it is insured, but I just don't have a plate for it. Didn't get pulled over or anything, but I put that there just in case. We'll see some of the Thomas HDXs. I'm not assigned to Thomas HDX, so I can't really show that. And so I'm not able to use one as a spare either because I drive a conventional. So they typically try to give conventional drivers conventional spares. I've only heard of them doing that once. They have a conventional driver or transit spares because we ran out of conventionals. And that was when we had 681 and the engine blew up. So they rebuilt it, but they only had transits. So they had to give us a transit. Three Amtrak 3800s, 138, and I think 63, but I've never seen the last one. Scrap, yeah, it happens sometimes. I hate it when that happens, but it does happen. There are a lot of Cabell County buses I wish I could have seen, but it's too young or not around yet. Yeah, only contractor in Kentucky that you know of is Miller Transportation. I've seen a few of their buses around the Louisville area. Electric T3s, gross. I forget the Miller Transportation buses that I've seen, but I have pictures of them on Flickr. I have an album. Let's see. Downstate New York is basically all contractors. Yeah, there are a lot of contractors in New York from what I can see. Do I have plans for 23 in the future? I have a lot of plans for this thing. Too many to go over in this. But yeah, this thing is a non-stop project. I'm always thinking about stuff to do to this. Needs a lot of stuff done to it, whether it's needs or wants. But yeah, this thing is a never-ending project. Thank you, Elijah. I try to make decent content. I know it's not the best, but I try to make decent content. I just kind of point a camera and start rambling. That's all I do. Yeah, cats have their own kind of exhaust smell. I've noticed that cats internationals are a little bit different. The cat smells a little sweeter. Yes, yuck, snow. That's gross. I still need to send you the mirrors from 23, John. I've got that, and need to find. I think we talked about some other stuff, but I forget what it was. The lenses, that's what it is. I still need to grab those lenses for you. I need to make another trip anyways, because I went over this a little bit earlier, but I don't think you were here. I went to go replace the radio, but one, the plug was different, and two, I cracked this right here, so I need to get this new, well, not new, but from that donor bus, to get this whole piece right here. Not looking forward to the wiper switch. It's just a plug and play, but still, it doesn't look fun. We'll do a start for 23, yeah. Oldest bus we ever kept that I know of was 539. It was an 85 Wayne S-Series. And we kept it until 2014. But it was used for at least, I want to say like 15 years as a shelter bus. So it would go around in the summer and people would paint shelters. Because we have, some of our stops have actual shelters that the school board built for the kids. I have not wired up the headlight turn signals yet. There's your startup. I like 3126 buses. I wish that there were more still in service, but just anywhere, not just, you know, here or whatever. But well, if I had this taken apart, you know, it's just a plug on the back. It should be okay, but I'll keep that in mind. It's gone. Should be the same plug. Both buses are the same year and came from the same state, so same dealer and all that. Here's the old radio. It's doesn't work, but yeah, you can see this one's a little different. This one actually had an aux cord plug in, which I thought was neat. So I may relocate that over here, just that way I can plug in an aux cord. But I need to get it working before I do that. I want to make sure everything works. Pump the brakes down again just to be sure. There we go. All right, now, where are my comments at? Yeah, I love me some Freightliners with some cat engines in them. And Mercedes. I like the Mercedes too. I haven't driven one with the Mercedes, but I like the way they sound. Driven C2s with Mercedes, but not FS65s. Interesting about the South Carolina buses. The only ones I've seen have been South Carolina Public Schools, or I was sent a picture of one around Myrtle Beach. I forget what the district was, but yeah, it had county. It was something county schools. Thomas buses are not too bad. I like mine. My 2017 C2, I like it. I like our C2s and stuff, but I just don't think anybody really makes a good bus anymore. I'd say honestly, like the time that this bus was built was probably about the last of the decent buses. Really, you can see where this one, where they really started cutting back on the corners and, you know, cheaping out on certain things, like these switches and stuff. They're not, as much as I love these rocker switches, you can tell they really kind of cut corners. Like this cracking right here is not very good plastic they used on these covers. And this bezel around where the screws are in, that's cracked too. Finally drove a C2 as a sub bus in Cy-Fair. Nice. I like Cy-Fair Sleet. They have unique specs. I'd like to paint the door at some point. I was going to try and get doors from one of the donor buses, but my doors are like 2 inches taller, so they wouldn't have fit. Yeah, we have a lot of, for our school district, you know, vans, not like type A's, but actual like panel vans they use for maintenance. They're all, I want to say they're all Chevys or GMCs. I have a lock on the back door, but I don't use it just because it's a pain in the butt, and because this one does not have a lock. Because like 2 or 3 weeks after I bought this bus, some kids came around and they broke into a bunch of the campers and stuff here, and they actually got in through my bus even though it was locked, but they broke this lock so bad that it had to be drilled out because this front door would not open. But basically what they did whenever they came back here, they actually got in through the back door. So the way this lock works is there's a cylinder right over here that you take out and you lock it in here, but it's not very long, so basically it just, if you put a little bit of pressure it'll lock it, but if you force it, this red handle will go right past it. So that's what happened. The cylinder right here just isn't long enough, and that was just poor design on Bluebird's part, but it's like that sometimes. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. He showed me that picture. American 2002. Yeah, he showed me that picture. Uh, I like Bluebird International, especially if they wear the number 681. It's just you know, it's pleasing. Do I like Cummins ISB on transits? I don't know if I've not driven one. We have one, but I've not driven it. All of ours have the, I think it's ISC, like the 9 liter, 8.9, 9.0, something like that. The larger engine. Or the Mercedes diesels. We have one left, 709 with the Mercedes diesel. John, tell me later who it is that owns 808. I thought Chris had 766, but I could be mistaken on that. Oh, okay, never mind. I know who you're talking about now. Forgot he had a Cyfair bus too. Yeah, I'm a little behind on the comments. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, I've been going for an hour and 13 minutes, and I still need to do an oil change on that thing. So I need to go down to where I'm supposed to be going to do that. I'm gonna do it myself, but I have to go down to a shop to do it because it is way too cold to do it myself out here, and too muddy. But yeah, so I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, and actually, well, Gordonator 775 has a ISB. The others are ISCs or whatever, ISX, whatever it is. But yeah, that's probably going to be about it for this video. And I appreciate everybody watching. And if I can get the chat here up again, I'm going to see if there's anything else I need to respond to before I close this down. But yeah, I appreciate everybody tuning in and the feedback and telling me about your fleets and stuff like that. I always love hearing about that kind of stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching. If I can find out how to close this thing. No. There we go. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys.